Students, welcome back to Government. Today, we're going to be talking about the amendments to the Constitution, their importance, and really taking a deep dive into what these amendments mean, why they're important, and really how we can apply them to our own lives. So what we'll be working out of today is an assignment called Amendments to the Constitution. And the directions read, here are the plans for today. Highlighted text indicates that you need to write and submit information to this assignment. Ensure you've completed all requirements in the what to submit section near the bottom. Spirit or participation will be rewarded for participating in class discussion if we do get to this lesson together. And so amendments to the Constitution, the word amend or mend in general just means to change. Get that into your vocabulary if it is not already. Amend means to change. And the Bill of Rights, we often think about this, or people generally think about this as being separate from the Constitution, but really a lot of what makes the Constitution special is included in some of the first amendments or the first 10 amendments to the United States Constitution. So the Constitution originally did not have these Bill of Rights included in it. It was actually a fierce debate between Federalists and Anti-Federalists whether or not these should be included at all. And discussing in class, these are probably the things that you really think of as being the most basic components or the basic ideas behind the Constitution, because many of us consider them to be maybe the most important part of all. And so step one, warm up, I want you to analyze this picture and really think about it, discuss it. And whenever I include these pictures in here, if you're kind of familiar with my classes, whenever I include these pictures, I really want you to really ingrain them into your mind. Like take in the imagery, because I'm very selective with the types of pictures that I choose. And so if I chose this one for the assignment, I really want you to remember it, right? The imagery, something about the text, what it's telling us, the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments to the Constitution. And so let's look at this together. Freedom of speech, religion, press, assembly, and petition is our First Amendment. So 5 rights included in one. That's a great deal. For one amendment, 5 rights. Number 2, right to bear arms. 3, the quartering of soldiers, which is more important for the context of our original Constitution, where British soldiers were forcing themselves to be quartered in the homes of colonists. Arrests and searches and seizures, what law enforcement is able to really search you for and arrest you for, and all that procedure. The 5th one, which is absolutely huge, what rights you have if you are accused of crimes. Some people will sometimes say pleading the 5th, you have a right not to self-incriminate yourself. What rights do you really have when you're faced in a courtroom and whenever you're faced by law enforcement? 6, rights of persons on trial for crimes. 7, jury trials or in civil cases. 8, the limitations on bail and punishments, how you can be punished, whether it's fair or not. 9, regarded to the rights kept by the people, the rights ensured to its citizens. And then the 10th Amendment, the powers kept by the states or the people. So we already see, especially with these last 2, a lot of these ones in the beginning have to do with procedure and legal rights. And the last 2 really have to deal with how we want to separate the power in our government, which really deals directly with federalism, which we'll get to and we'll really emphasize. And step 2, you're going to watch this video. I have no question for this video. I think it's amazing. All the different ways that this person likes to remind themselves of the amendments. So let's watch it together. I'll give some of my commentary.
Hi there.
Some of my favorites.
This is an easy guide on how to remember the 27 amendments to the U.S. Constitution. Not how to memorize each amendment, but how to remember which one is which. Here we go. First Amendment. 1. Put up your finger and put it against your lips for the freedom of speech, press, and religion. 2. Put up 2 fingers, your finger and your thumb. It is the shape of a gun. That's right. The right to keep and bear arms. Amendment 3, put up 3 fingers, as in 3 is a crowd. There's too many people. Protect me from quartering troops in my house in times of peace. 4, as in 4 walls of my house, as in stay out of the 4 walls of my house. Protect me from unreasonable search and seizure. Amendment 5.
That one's really good. I think that's very clever.
Put up 5 fingers and cover your mouth, as in don't speak. Do not incriminate yourself. Plead the 5th. Amendment 6, number 6. Hold up 6 fingers, take your finger, point it at your wrist, as in your watch, as in you have the right to a speedy trial.
Ouch.
Amendment 7, lucky 7, as in you went to Vegas and got all 7s on the slot machine because you're wearing your lucky suit. The key word is suit. In suits at common law. With Amendment 8, you're not so lucky because now you got arrested and they put you in cuffs. Only your cuffs are too tight and they form an 8. They set your bail at $8 million, as in excessive fines and cruel and unusual punishment. And then there's Amendment 9, as in 9. The German Nein for no, as in no, do not take away my rights. Just because certain rights are not listed in the Constitution does not mean that the government can violate those rights. Which brings us to the 10th Amendment. Put up all 10 fingers, both hands, as in stop. Stop, federal government. Stop trying to impose on states' rights. Stick to the powers delegated to you by the Constitution and leave the rest up to the states. Amendment 11 consists of a 1 and a 1, as in 1-on-1, like a one-on-one fight. This amendment prevents you from getting in a one-on-one fight with other states. You cannot sue a state that's not your own. Amendment 12 consists of a 1 and a 2. It revised the process for how we elect number 1 and number 2 in charge of the United States. Number 1 and number 2 in charge are...
Love that. That's clever.
You guessed it, the president and vice president. That brings us to the 13th Amendment. 13 is the unlucky number, and there's not much more unlucky than being a slave. The 13th Amendment abolished slavery in the United States. The 14th Amendment, 14 with a 1 and a 4, as in 1 for all and all for one. It provides equal protection and due process for all.
This guy.
The 15th Amendment, number 15, made up of a 1 and a 5. Think of 1-5, as in 1-5, as in 1 a 5K race. Race is the key word here. The right to vote can't be denied based on race or color. And now for the dreaded 16th Amendment. When you turn 16, you can drive. When you can drive, you can get to work. When you work, you get taxed. And the 16th Amendment gives Congress the power to collect income taxes. Boom! Amendment 17 has a 1 and a 7. And if repositioned, they create an arrow. This arrow is for direct, as in a direct election. The 17th Amendment.
I'll give anybody bonus points if they can think of like cool things like this guy thinks of.
Establish direct popular voting to elect senators. Amendment 18. When you're 18, the law treats you like an adult with one little exception. It prohibits you from drinking alcohol. The 18th Amendment implemented prohibition. For the 19th Amendment, we'll draw the 1 and the 9, tilt them together, and then we have ourselves a woman. For women's suffrage. Women get the right to vote with Amendment 19. And then we have the 20th Amendment. The 20th is for January 20th, which became the president's start date with the ratification of the 20th Amendment. The 21st Amendment is pretty simple. You need to be 21 to drink alcohol, and Amendment 21 allows drinking alcohol to be legal again. It repeals the 18th Amendment. So at 21, you can drink alcohol, and 21 makes alcohol legal again. Amendment 22 limits the number of times a person can be elected president to 2, or 2-2, as in number 22, 2-2. It limits the number of times a person can be elected president to 2, Amendment 22. But there's Amendment 23. Just think 23 DC, or 2-3 DC, a little rhyme. Amendment 23 gave Washington, D.C. electors for the first time, 2-3 DC. For Amendment 24, I like to say a little cheer, because 24 is 2-4, and it goes something like this. 2, 4, 6, 8, what do we really hate? Taxes! Taxes! Because come on, who likes to pay taxes? The 24th Amendment allows you to vote even if you don't pay your taxes. For Amendment 25, say 25 will survive. The 25th Amendment addresses the succession to the presidency. Who takes over as the president if something should happen to the current president? Which survivors are next in line if there's a death? 25 will survive. For Amendment 26, add the 2 and 6 for 8, and at 18, you get to vote. Amendment 26 allows anyone 18 or older to vote. Amendment 27 involves another rhyme. 27 pays, next election raise. 27 pays, next election raise. 27 states that laws affecting Congress's pay don't go into effect until after the next election. 27 pays, next election raise. If they give themselves a raise, it won't go into effect until after the next election. There you have it.
Love that. And I hope that helps you with this next activity that you're going to be doing. So you're going to go to amendments to the Constitution in OneNote. And for all 27 amendments, you're going to put them into your own words. And feel free to use some of that information that they provided in the video as well, too, as well as some of my commentary for the Bill of Rights part of that assignment. And then what you're ultimately submitting is notify me once you've completed the OneNote assignment. And with that, you'll be done with this lesson. Please let me know if I can help you out in any way. Otherwise, have a wonderful day.